Although I heard a joke about Mario the other day, and it's like, what type of what do you call it? Oh, you know, he's got a red shirt, but then he's got like dungarees.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are his sort of dungarees? They're made out of denim. Hi everybody, welcome to Daily Deco. Today's episode I'm going to be talking about the Apeks dSMB. It's quite an interesting dSMB and it's definitely worth taking a look at, but I'm going to be sort of mentioning that later. As far as the website, I don't think any new sort of exciting things have populated yet, but that's something that we're sort of working on as we speak. We got the dev team. Basically, I mean, I don't think I've made any like big changes to the website in like almost a year. Yeah. I was thinking about it because I went to Australia like March time last year.
Beginning of March, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I literally haven't made any changes to the website in like 12 months, so it's a little out of date. But yeah, the dev team, they're sort of making it a bit fresher, so over the coming sort of weeks you're going to start to see some sort of cosmetic upgrades, and some things are going to be sort of moving around and yeah, getting back up to speed of things.
Sign up
jumping
to our email list.
Yeah, that's it. So the emails are sort of coming back. So yeah, if you didn't have a Simply Scuba account, it's definitely worth signing up on the website, because we do all sorts of like what do you call it, like not competitions, but like sort of offers and some new in and all that kind of stuff. So every now and then we try not to sort of send too many. It's normally about one email a week or something, usually on like a Saturday. So if there's anything sort of new and exciting, we'll send you an email. If there's a sort of an offer running, then yeah, you kind of want to get in there quick, and there'll be sort of special codes and all that kind of stuff. But
also as well, so I know you're looking at me, before you crack on with the news, product overviews, we have mentioned it at the beginning of the week. I mentioned it in that 10-minute update on the site. They will officially be going live. We've filmed some. They're ready to go live on Saturday at 5 p.m. GMT.
okay.
I've done that, and they're going to be going every single day. So I know on Saturday, obviously, we have the surface interval and obviously deep live on the Sunday. They go live at 2, so 2 and 5. But yeah, the reason why I've done 5 is because that seems to be the hot topic. That's where a lot of you guys watch our videos. So I'm just
watching.
Yeah, rather than putting it up in the morning, it's now going to go live in the afternoon. So, and for the foreseeable, they'll be going live at 5 every single day until we either run out of products, Mark goes on holiday, or we actually have to film like actual physical products further down the line. But even then,
that is the aim.
Yeah, that the time slot for our product overviews and reviews in the future is going to be 5 p.m. GMT every single day. So you get more videos of Mark. I'm looking at the wrong camera. I've got about 3 cameras.
I know, it's tricky.
I've got you there, I've got my camera there for you, and then I've got this camera here. Weird. Anyway, news!
So, as far as underwater news, so there are, again, sort of 4 news stories. The first one is kind of sharky. And I'll say kind of, it's about 75% sharky, our news stories today. So the first one is actually I say fairly old. It's only from like January the 1st, but that feels like ages ago now, doesn't it? So a marine biologist basically sort of revealed that they're working on a new, more humane way to like track problem sharks. So I think there was an actual article, and it was originally sort of titled the problem with problem sharks, because at the moment, if there are I'm very hesitant to mention the word shark attack, because that's kind of the whole point of the article, in that the way that we perceive sort of human-shark negative interactions, I think is probably the most politically way of sort of putting it.
What about the way that rather than attack, a shark incident?
Yeah. So they're saying that when you call it a shark attack, obviously it's very menacing and very negative, and a lot of the case it's not, because an attack has like an implied like intent to cause harm, whereas a lot of the sort of the human shark interactions or incidents are just kind of the shark is either being territorial, protective or something, or it's just getting mistaken. So this marine biologist has basically sort of run through everything and basically said, well, there's so much focus on like this Jaws from the movie Shark, and that's very sort of rarely the case where it's one specific shark who's specifically out to kill humans, because that's not really what they do. It's just, oh, there's like one sort of accidental sort of interaction, a human got bitten. It's a tragic thing, it's terrible. However, that shark wasn't specifically going, oh, there's a human, now is my chance, I'll go sort of get it. More often than not, it's a mistake and they go, oh, that's not what I was after, and then it goes off to do its normal kind of shark thing. So when people have the knee-jerk reaction of, oh, we have to kill this specific shark, it's such a wrong response. And a lot of the times, the description of the shark is so vague that they just kill any similar shark. I mean, it happened years ago in the Red Sea when the German lady was bitten, and they said, right, well, it's a Pacific, it was a white tip shark, and they all went out and they caught this white tip shark, and they were like, we got it, only when like photographic evidence of it swimming in a different area, and they matched it to the dorsal fin, had certain nicks out of it. They're like, actually no, you just killed a random white tip shark. So that's what the marine biologist is basically saying. It's like, we need to slow down and use some actual like proper scientific methods to identify these sharks and see if they are an actual sort of a problem shark that does specifically want to go for humans, or whether it was just an accident, and in that case, okay, maybe we do need to sort of study it and see if it's going to do it again. So what they're proposing is basically looking at all the different evidence that they can get before you just go out and kill any shark of the same species in the area, to specifically look at the sort of the bite patterns and sort of any kind of DNA evidence and photographic evidence, all that kind of stuff, to basically sort of work out, right, this is the exact shark, and they're basically looking to do all this kind of research before these kind of attacks, so they can study these sharks and kind of monitor their movement patterns, and then if there is a negative interaction, then they can say, right, well, that was Stephen, that's kind of where he is, that's kind of where he sort of hangs out, we know sort of who he is, and then they can do something about it. The biologist, I think, goes on to say that they're not specifically against killing sharks, but they're against killing the wrong sharks. It's like if someone commits a crime and then you arrest someone who looks pretty similar, and then you just throw them in jail or literally kill them because they were in the area and they looked kind of similar, so it was probably them. A lot of the time it's not. So
it must have been him. That person that robbed that person was wearing shoes. The other person had shoes. So
exactly, that's kind of it. And they basically put the parallel to like terrestrial species. They say that in a lot of the cases in sort of India, where they have sort of tigers, you always agree that, if you walk into a tiger's like area, then it's probably going to hurt you. But if you do the same to a shark, it's like, oh, bad shark. We got to sort of catch and kill this shark. But there's kind of this disconnect. It's like, oh, when it's a fluffy tiger, kind of, oh, it's just the tiger doing its thing, kind of just stay away from there next time. Whereas when it's a shark, it's like, oh no, we have to sort this shark out. There's that negative emphasis on sharks that we kind of need to reassess and kind of change our sort of ways.
That's the media though, isn't it? The media is the one that does it all. Because even this article, like they were like, "Oh, shark culling's inefficient." It's pro to keeping the shark alive, but their thumbnail is a shark, and there's like a splatter of blood over the image. Like even that's not.
Yeah, it's tough. All the imagery and it's as you say, it's the media. It's kind of what we're doing around the moment, and they're in it to get their clicks, and in this instance they've done it. But we do need to do something about it. I don't know what that is, but I also find these articles are so hard to read because it's like 3 lines of text and then a video, and then 4 lines of text and then 3 unrelated pictures and then sort of more text, and it's so just all over the place. We really do need to do something about sort of the news media and how it's laid out. If it just had like one huge band of sort of adverts, like halfway through, I'd be fine with that, because you can kind of look at them, you can scroll past them, and that's it. But no, they kind of mix it all up, and you can't tell what's the article, and or even like where it ends, because it just kind of ends.
Are you telling me that you don't want to find out about the 5 secrets of the, what the wine industry is hiding, Mark, whilst you read your article about sharks?
Well, this article, it seems to end with a quote, and the final line is, and we'll cut these fatal bites very quickly by retrieving specifically these animals from the ecosystem.
And then there's a picture of an old lady.
Yeah, then it's just endless adverts. So I presume that's the conclusion, but anyway, that's the modern media, which I suppose we're kind of a part of, Shaun. But hey ho.
A lot of people get their diving or marine news from us. The channel started as product reviews, and now it's you want to get your daily fix of shark, or I'm going to conveniently say this, Meg updates, because we are the official Megalodon update channel. I think we should rename simplyscuba to Meg Updates, megsightings.com. What's the next story, Mark? What's the next story?
The next story is about Megalodon sharks, believe it or not.
Oh my god!
And actually, I chose this story. Shaun didn't, which is unusual. So basically, this was researchers in I want to say Belgium. Was it Belgium? Yes, from the Royal Belgian Institute of Natural Sciences. So they've been studying like fossils from Megalodon sharks.
They don't need to study fossils, mate. They're
So because a lot of sharks are cartilaginous, so they don't have bones, the only things that actually fossilize are their teeth. And you can learn a certain amount from a shark's teeth, but not everything. But what these sort of guys and girls have found is a 15 million year old sort of rock that was discovered in the 1860s. That actually has some of a Megalodon shark's vertebrae sort of inside and relatively preserved. So what they've been doing is you can actually learn quite a lot from their vertebrae, because I think the article somewhere says that they're a bit like tree trunks in that they grow rings. So you can kind of gauge the life size and kind of shape and design of the shark as it sort of grows, and they've worked out that by the time that a Megalodon baby shark was born, a bit like is it a lamina shark or a laminate shark? Instead of like being in an egg, they lay an egg and then eventually it sort of comes out. They're birthed relatively fully grown, as it were. But yeah, they basically worked out they grow to about 2 meters long, and that's when they sort of are released into the wild. So yeah, 2 meters is huge for a like day 1 old baby, but as with a lot of other shark species, they work out that they probably ate all of their like baby brothers and sisters to get to that size before they were born. So
that's probably not much room. I mean, the Meg's pretty big, but if you had a load of 2 meter shark, there's going to be a fight for space, isn't there? So
yeah, so going back to the vertebrates, so they actually found, so this one specific sample, they actually counted the rings in the vertebrae, and the team basically suggests that this one specific megalodon died at around 46 years old. So they lived a fairly long time, and this is just like one shark. So we don't know whether this was a particularly old shark or just middle-aged shark. It's quite hard for them to specifically say, but yeah, it's very sort of interesting to yeah. Ugh.
I mean, so once they come out of hiding again, then we can just ask them.
Well, they have evolved all the time since then, but chances are if they're that far down, they're probably blind, and they move so slowly that to conserve energy that we'll never see them. Apparently the phenomenon of eating unhatched eggs in the uterus to survive and grow is called intrauterine cannibalism.
Oh, you're making me hungry.
The consequence is that only a few pups will survive and develop, but each of them can become large in body size at birth, which gives them an advantage as they're already large predators. Yeah. Luckily, nothing like this sort of exists, or at least to this scale.
Mariana Trench, the documentary The Meg. It's well known, and they're making a second one, so obviously there's still more under there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it going to be the Meg's mother?
Just gonna hunt.
That was in the. Oh, I haven't seen that movie in
Jaws 4.
a long time. Jaws 4. Or 3D, where it's at an amusement park or something.
I actually quite like Jaws 3D. Number 2's terrible. Number 4.
Oh no, 3 is terrible. That one shot where it's just a still image just moving closer to the screen.
Brilliant.
Oh,
it's fantastic.
No. Any movie where sharks like growl, just no. I remember I was in Italy and I like got into the hotel room. I just sort of flicked the TV on for some background noise, and it was some like shark drama or something. And they were showing like people in the water, and the shark was kind of like swimming menacingly, and it was growling. And you're like, what are you doing? Only this tiger shark. Then it cuts to a different angle, and it's a great white shark. And then it changes back to a tiger shark, and you're like, what are you doing? You just went for stock images of shark, any shark. But yeah, it was always like kind of swimming.
Well, I'll tell you what I found out on Instagram. There was a post on in my feed on Insta, and it was I think there some people were on safari or something, and these cheetahs came up. Yeah, so you'd expect cheetahs to growl or whatever. Yeah, but they started talking to them, and they literally just sound like their cats. It's like, meow.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Well, they're not really big hulking kind of things. They are very slight. So yeah, it makes sense.
So the guy did have some dreamies in the middle of the Sahara.
You're begging for problems there. So the product that I'm talking about today is the Apeks dSMB. So this is new for Apeks. They created it. It's true. 2019 was it that we saw it, Shaun? That must have been, yeah.
That's when I had hopes and dreams, and I could go outside without, thinking when someone walked past me, they're probably going to kill me.
Yeah, we had no idea. I saw a video of a guy, and you know, at the Leaning Tower of Pisa, everyone's like sort of standing up like that, and he was like walking around and like high-fiving them all. I was like, oh, that's considered a hate crime now. But no, wait, how did I get onto that?
Daily Deco, it's what these guys want.
dSMBs, that's it. So before lockdown and all that kind of stuff, when we were at Apeks HQ, they showed us this new sort of Apeks dSMB. So it's a delayed surface marker buoy, and it's actually really sort of fancy. So there's a few different features that are all over it. There's a whole bunch of different SMBs that are out there for scuba divers. This one, in my opinion, has pretty much everything that you could possibly want or sort of need. So the first thing is 1.4 meters long. So even if you are in sort of fairly tall seas, it's still going to poke out above the waves, so people are going to be able to see you in the water. It has reflective tape at the top, and this is soulless reflective tape. So if someone's sort of shining a torch at you, it's going to reflect back at you. It just means that emergency services are going to be able to sort of find you that much easier and faster in the water. It's actually a two-sided design. So a lot of these sort of skinnier SMBs, they're only made out of a single piece of material, which when you fold it over and then sort of heat seal it down one side, that folded side, after quite a few uses, eventually that just starts to sort of wear out. So it happened to one of my dSMBs, and so the benefit is when you have two separate pieces that are sandwiched together and then heat sealed all the way around the side, it means that every time you roll it up, you're not creating a crease. So it's going to last much longer. But one of the best things about it is that down at the bottom, where you normally have a sort of inflator valve, which is a lot like your BCD inflator to attach a hose onto. Most other BCDs have that, most other dSMBs have that kind of sort of fitting, which is great, but most divers tend to orally inflate through that valve anyway, and when you've got a metal valve, it just kind of bumps up against your teeth, and it's not nice. So what Apeks have done is they put a silicone like mouthpiece on the end of this instead of that nozzle, so you can orally inflate it, so you can hold your spool in one hand, the SMB in the other, and then orally inflate it one-handed. It's much neater and much more practical. So definitely check out the Apeks dSMB. When all of this is over, I'm gonna hopefully get my hands on one, because as much as I've got a few SMBs behind me, I could do with another.
Would that be like, you have a bulk suit addiction, is the one after that a dSMB addiction?
A dSMB, yeah, because none of these have, so they all have this style like inflator nozzle. None of them have that like mouthpiece, and I kind of want it.
Well, go on the website, simplyscuba.com after this video, Mark, and buy one.
We do.
Use your staff discount, and with one bag.
That is quite high on my list of sort of things to do. Shaun will put a link down to the dSMB.
Oh, will I? Will I?
Yes, you will.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, I will. You're right.
If you know what's good for you.
Right.
The next news story is actually really sad. It was one of these like evolving news stories, and it started on like Christmas Eve, and it's basically around the Japanese town of Taji, which most of you probably know sort of exactly what I'm going to be sort of talking about already. Basically, they put these sort of nets out, and they have a annual cull of dolphins, and so they put these big nets in the water to stop them from escaping. And a minke whale actually got not caught up in the net, but it got caught up in the area. And it's kind of been there ever since. So local sort of activists have been like monitoring it and basically saying, guys, can you not just like move this net to let this minke whale out, because it's not what you're after. And they basically said, no, we're not going to do anything to the net. And it's been there, and then on Monday they basically killed it. because they couldn't be bothered to let it free, so they just killed it. The first the first report has since been corrected. So the first report said that they shot it with an explosive harpoon, but actually that has been sort of corrected. Apparently how they killed the whale is they basically tied a rope around its tail and then forced its head under the water, where it took around 20 minutes to die, which is just barbaric, let's fake it. It's just... all they had to do is just, move the net out of the way and the whale would be free. But no, they decided to kill it. And obviously all the eyes are on the sort of the Japanese at the moment, because it's through 2019, I think, when they came out of... So leading up to this, they'd always been saying, oh, we catch whales for scientific research purposes, and then we'd like sell the meat. And it was always this like sort of loophole, and that was because they were part of, I can't remember what it's called, but some special like sort of global agreement of, you know what, let's not kill whales. So they managed to find this loophole, which was scientific research. It got to the point where they got so much sort of heat and so much sort of resistance that Japan just withdrew themselves from this agreement, and they said, you know what, we're just going to catch sort of whales in our own sort of Japanese sort of waters, and continue commercial whaling. And they do have sort of limits on like how many they can catch, and it does include so each year they're allowed to catch 171 minke whales, but I don't know whether this is going to count towards their quota. But it's just a tragic story. There's no need for it. It's just, I do get that different cultures do different things, and it's seen as sort of barbaric over here, but over there it might not be. But everything that I kind of read about it is just, a lot of the locals aren't really that interested in it. It's not like this amazing delicacy that most people are like demanding. It's just something that, it's what we always used to do years and years ago, so we kind of want to still do it.
Traditions, isn't it? Like sometimes just because you did it back then doesn't mean you should do it now. The whole point is evolving over time. You know?
Yeah, you're allowed to change and update.
You have to with everything, otherwise you're going to be in the dark ages for the rest of your life. You've got to move with the time. Everyone does it. Like, you just have to. You've got to evolve, otherwise nothing's ever going to change. It's going to get worse. And that's it about everything from politics to laws to how we see things and what we say. You know what I mean? It's a weird one, but I think it's barbaric.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. I
want to know how many people attack those nets to try and break them up.
Well, so someone, who is it? Yabuki, the director of the Japanese NGO Life Investigation Agency, said that he witnessed the fishers make one half-hearted attempt to free the animal soon after it actually became trapped in the nets. Yeah. So I think it got caught up in the nets, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're helping," but they get very, very defensive when like Sea Shepherd and all those kind of welfare groups sort of try to intervene. So I think security is quite high, and I think legally it kind of sits on the side of the fishermen. So it's quite hard for people to do anything.
Yeah. Bizarre times,
the wonderful
mate.
world. Yeah, the wonderful world we live in.
Yeah.
Which is why I try to change the subject by going to a more optimistic sort of, I don't know, capture. So this is a news story from sort of scientists who were studying or sort of attempting to study a Mako shark. So Mako sharks are the really pointy, sort of really quick sharks. I think they're literally the fastest sharks sort of in the water, and they were trying to sort of catch them, to tag them and study them, and and they use these fishing hooks that are used for like large game. So a lot of there's a lot of weight and a lot of strength in these like fishing hooks, and apparently they had this. They put it on their Instagram. They managed to catch a Mako shark, and as they were trying to like draw it closer to the boats to sort of tag it and do all that, the Mako shark just went, you know what, no, and kind of and yanked and bent this hook, and then just swam off. And they uploaded a photo of like a brand new hook and then this bent, straightened out hook, and they're like, yeah, these guys are strong and they really do not want to be caught. And yeah, it is impressive. And I think I read somewhere, yeah, where was it? So the biggest they can grow to is around 13 feet. Which is what, 4 meters long, I think, something like that. And yeah, they say that a lot of the time, if you're like trying to catch them, because they can swim so fast, a lot of the time they jump out of the water and like into the boats. So like that scene from A Perfect Storm or Lethal Weapon 4, yeah, these Makos literally just like jump out of the water to sort of try and get away from this fishing hook. But this one wasn't having any of it. It just went, no, bent the hook and off he went.
Respect.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, they have the ability to swim in excess of 45 miles per hour. That's impressive. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And they can jump up to 30 feet out of the water. Yeah. Wow. That's impressive.
Mako sharks are cool, man. What would you be like if you gave me a Red Bull? Woohoo!
Can you imagine? It gives you wings.
Wings with 2 eyes.
Yeah, because we're not allowed to legally say it actually gives you wings because of that court case.
Yeah, that's amazing though. Bent it. Now, obviously, that sort of hook's designed to take some serious weight. So he must have really been determined just not to get caught. It's like, no, mate, I'm not having this.
Yeah, now he's going to tell all his mates, and it's like, right, all you need to do is swim really fast and then do a woof, and then you're free.
We're never going to catch him ever again. That's it.
No. Because that's it, 45 miles an hour. Granted, that's like top speed, that's not like ambling around. But yeah, to be able to catch another one, a lot of the time they use like a pole spear or something to and get a tag in their like dorsal fin or something. But you wouldn't be able to get close.
That's crazy.
I remember I was trying to measure a baby barracuda for marine conservation, and that thing went off like a rocket. And that was only like yay big. I just wanted to get a bit closer to make sure I got my measurements correct. But yeah, no matter how quickly I could swim, there's nothing compared to that. Granted, I wasn't in a boat or anything, but
still,
yeah,
man, that takes.
Like
if you're on the boat and you're trying to spot it, you're like, if it's rushing around, what the hell's going on? It's amazing. Good work. Good work, mate.
Yes.
Well done, man. Well done. That's it, isn't it?
And that's it for the news stories. There was another one that I was going to mention, but I'll probably mention that on Friday.
Which would be Monday.
Because hopefully there'll be. No, it won't be. So this is. Oh, you're right.
Thursdays. Then it's the Q&A on Friday. Then on Monday.
Yeah, no, I'm getting my days mixed up.
Yeah.
So I'll mention that on Monday, because with any luck, there might be an update to the story, because it's literally just breaking, and I haven't seen any updates recently. Cool. But yeah, I'll mention that later. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, Q&A tomorrow. So I've got most of my questions already. I'm just going to sort of have a look through your comments, see if there are any questions that you guys want answering. If you do have any questions, if you pop them down in the comments below, it might be a bit late for tomorrow's show, but I'll answer them on the following Friday. If you have any interesting news stories, by all means, let us know down in the comments below. If you want to see a product sort of breakdown on sort of anything in particular, then by all means, let us know down in the comments below. Don't forget to listen as a podcast, because of course you can listen to us on your favorite streaming channel, whether that's Spotify or other streaming podcast things that I'm not actually aware of, Sean?
Apple Music.
Okay.
You've got Stitcher. Podomatic. There are so many.
That was like when they were talking about what's the one that got banned because it was all like violence or something. Parlor or something.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Because that was on that was like trending on Twitter, and it's like, oh, Parlor has been like shut down or something. I was like, what's a Parlor? It's like, oh yeah, the Parlor app, and you're like, I've never heard of it. I think it's more of an American thing. But
yeah, coming live, we've just dropped Daily Deco on the Parlor app. Go over there, hit follow or subscribe or whatever you have to do on that platform.
It was
and we're also on MySpace.
MySpace, because the other day when Elon Musk said, "Oh, start investing in this app," but because he was too vague, actually the stock price of a different but similar named sort of company went up by like 486%, and he's like, "Oh, not them, them."
Thank you, Elon.
There's so many,
He's richer than Bezos now, isn't he?
Yes.
Or was, as of this recording.
Yeah, because someone said, oh, isn't it ironic that he was named the richest man on the anniversary of Tesla's death when he died, like, with no money in his bank account? And then someone else put something, I was like, oh, well, here's a picture of Elon Musk, like, sort of repairing his car because he was too broke to sort of get it fixed. And then someone replied, was like, didn't his dad own, like, an emerald mine or something?
Yeah, he comes from a very well-off...
Yeah, I think he's always been I think he's always been like a tinkerer, an engineer. It's not that he was poor, it was just that he enjoyed it.
Yeah. And he then, when had some money, or got some money from someone, he then gave it to the right people, and then that was
was it that he made PayPal? Wasn't that his big thing?
He was joint with PayPal, but like with Tesla and obviously SpaceX and stuff, he basically, not that he's not dumb or anything, he's a very smart lad.
No,
but like, obviously he hires the right people to do the right job, as you would.
And one thing that I learned the other day was that Steve Jobs was like one of the co-owners of Pixar.
Yeah, did you not know that?
No.
No, mate.
No. I was watching a video and you're like, oh.
The first Toy Story, he's a producer. Because they owned it. They owned Pixar for... And then because they did adverts, or they were doing like just general graphic design work, and they obviously used Max at the time. And then they were like, oh, we want to go into this cartoon development, so CGI sort of thing. And it was just like, oh yeah, that's fine, but it's not something that we're interested in. He helped fund the first Toy Story, and then they got bought by Disney, I think, pretty much. I think they had that A Bug's Life. And
so the video that I watched was basically Disney gave them a contract for 5 films, and they did 5 films, but then they said, oh, actually, this sequel, like Toy Story 2, doesn't count because it's a sequel, so technically this, that, and that. So they tried to like separate ways, and Disney basically tried to create their own version of Pixar, and it just failed. They didn't have that spark that Pixar did, so they kind of went back humbly to them and like, oh yeah, can you please come back?
Come back. Oh, and then, oh, you've done well, ass. We're just going to buy you now. Now we're multi-billion pound. We're just going to buy everything. Which is good. Yeah. My thoughts on Pixar, they're amazing. I think their standalone stuff's great. Sequels, some of them are great, but that's a Disney thing. You've always got to have a 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't really like that with Pixar. I like their originalities, but they're finally, they seem to be getting the mix. So you can have sequels, but they're still, making their OGs. There we go, guys. That's the turn for Daily Deco. We're talking about Pixar.
I know. We got from Mako sharks bending hooks to Disney and Pixar and Steve Jobs and Elon Musk.
What's your feelings about Chris Evans voicing Buzz Lightyear in the Buzz Lightyear movie? So Captain America is voicing Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it's not the toy. It's the actual Buzz Lightyear that the toy's based on.
Yeah, it's going to be a character. I'm fine with that. Because there's quite a lot of that. Then a lot of studios are trying to make prequels, like they're trying to make a Mad Max prequel.
They are.
Another one that I saw was announced yesterday or the day before is that Bethesda are trying to make an Indiana Jones video game.
Okay.
And like, okay, I think their teaser was just like looking over a desk, and it's all like sort of 1940s, 1950s style, like typewriter and notebooks and stuff, and then it just like pans to a whip, and you're like, okay, it obviously no gameplay or sort of any sort of what it's going to be, but you're like, okay.
Well, it's Bethesda, so that's Xbox exclusive. So if you're a PlayStation, you probably ain't going to be playing that for a while.
But no one has a PS5.
No one has an Xbox at the moment.
Well, did you see the one story that really sort of caught my eye was there was a store, I don't know which country it was in, but they bought like 100 limited edition black PS5s, and they were they sort of put it out, and it sold out in like 20 minutes or something, obviously. But then the staff members were receiving death threats, and it's just like, are you kidding? So the company basically said, you know what, we're just going to cancel all of these pre-orders. None of you are going to get it because you're threatening our staff members. Are you kidding?
Over a games console, mate. People are weird.
Exactly. We do need a sort of change in this world.
We need some sort of virus to cull things. Oh!
Don't say that, Shaun. No.
I'm sorry, guys.
Hey ho.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was a disgusting joke. And
that's what they come for.
Do they?
Shaun's bizarre anecdotes. That go a little bit too far at times.
Never.
Anyway, that's it for today's show. I'm going to end it there. It's only going to be me tomorrow because Shaun is off snowboarding or doing something.
I'm set building.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So this is the last time you're going to see this background, hopefully, if all goes well. So, because I'm working on some videos potentially for our sister company, WebTogs. Go subscribe to their channel, it just popped up. Thanks very much. Do them a solid. Because obviously, as you guys know, I've got quite a good or a long history with outdoor hiking, climbing, cycling brands. So I am basically going to be doing some product videos for them. But obviously, lockdown, we don't have a studio, and we probably won't have a studio for Simply and WebTogs for a rather long time because of lockdown.
Man.
So I've got to do the best I can with the space that I've got. So my entire day is ripping all this down and then building it all back up.
Getting your hands dirty.
Oh no. What's going to happen? Gems,
pulling out splinters.
Gem's my partner. I'm gonna get her to do all the work, and I'm gonna delegate.
You missed a spot.
Yeah. I might even get Milo, give him a hammer.
He's got to learn sometime.
5 months, he can pick up a hammer. He'll be right. I don't see there any issues. I did
see a video clip of I'm no good with child age, but he was small, so I'm guessing like 1, 2. I'm not a father. I don't know how big children are at different ages. I wasn't paying attention when I was that age. Yeah. So, but he's like sat, and his father's obviously a carpenter, and he's like sat on the desk, and his dad's giving him this like old bit of wood, and he just grabs this sort of hammer and like nails, and he's fumbling it, but then he hammers it in.
Fair enough. Good. No, kids are amazing. Kids are the future, you might say, Mark.
Literally.
Cool. Right, we should end today. Do your outro.
Yeah, that's it. Like, share, and subscribe. Any questions, comments, queries, corrections, let us know down in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching, and of course, safe diving.
Stay classy, scuba divers. See you Monday.